sexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So please subscribe and hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. So today I'm doing a movie review, a no sex movie review because I'm asexual and I don't like sex. I'm sex repulsed asexual, of Despicable Me 2. Now I've got Despicable Me 1, this is Despicable Me 2. So Despicable Me 1 is all about how Gru actually gets a family with the girls, and obviously he's meant to be like an evil villain, and when he meets these three girls he ends up adopting them and changing from a kind of really bad-hearted guy, if you know what I mean, to a kind-hearted guy, or at least that's the way he comes across in the beginning. Like really evil, etc. But then, you know, the three girls win his heart over. So in Despicable Me 2, we have a female superhero villain as well called Lucy. Now, in Despicable Me 2, it's all about family again. So obviously it's a very friendly asexual movie because it's like an extension of Gru's family, because Lucy comes into it, who's a female superhero villain. She's very clever. Most people probably find her quite beautiful, and she's got a lovely personality as well, but she's got like lovely evil ways about her, if you know what I mean. So anyway, what happens is Gru is going along and he's with his kids, and he's really domesticated now. He's cooking for one of the birthday parties of the kids, and he even dresses as a fairy because the fairy that's meant to show up to one of the little ones' birthday party doesn't show up. So he puts a dress on and acts as a fairy, which is really, really funny. I found that hilarious. And anyway, so what happens is there's this evil person that is going around making a serum which turns, for example, rabbits into like were-rabbits, you know, like werewolf type rabbits, where they go around eating people and things and basically like, you know, like killer rabbits, that type of thing. And they don't know who's doing this. And so there's a certain like league of like people who are trying to find out who actually is behind these evil plots to, you know, inject a serum into rabbits and make them like evil rabbits and basically killer rabbits. And so they want to get Gru on that case, and Lucy is an undercover agent for them, and goes to get Gru and actually recruits Gru into this mission, and together they both work on the mission, which is to find out who made this serum. But when we first see Gru in the second movie, he's into making jams and jellies. He's sort of given up the evil life, if you know what I mean, of trying to, you know, solve problems of the world, this type of thing, and evil stuff. So he stole the moon, and this is why he's really sought after, be put the moon back apparently. So it's really funny because he's with the three girls and he's into making jams and jellies. His sidekick scientist leaves to go to get a job elsewhere, and we find out later that his sidekick scientist has actually gone to this work for this guy who makes the serum. And so anyway, the guy who makes the serum, we find out that he's got like a split personality. He's got this like restaurant, and he's meant to be all nice and friendly. And he used to be a superhero, like, well, a super villain years ago called El Macho. And Gru notices that this guy isn't all he appears to be. He isn't this nice restaurateur. He's actually El Macho, and El Macho was supposed to have killed himself after, you know, he did some evil deed, and be tied to a shark with weights all around him and plunge into a volcano. But he's never really dead. They never found the body, and Gru knows that it's him who did it. But Lucy doesn't believe him. The company that Lucy works for doesn't believe him, who hired Gru to actually, you know, solve this mystery. Lucy originally kidnapped Gru to get him to this mission because he was meant to be like a retired supervillain, you know, but he's come out for retirement and now decides he wants to solve this problem. And there's this guy that makes wigs, and they find something behind his wall, and he gets framed for the serum. making the serum, but it's not him who's done it. It is El Macho, which is what Gru said all along, and that's Gru's instincts. But meanwhile, there's a subplot going on where El Macho son is actually becomes a boyfriend of one of Gru's kids. And so, it becomes a very complicated storyline. But to cut a long story short, it's really, really nice because I love Lucy being the female super villain, if you like. And Gru, we find out, it's really sad. Gru, we find out that when he was a child, he actually went to ask this girl out, Lisa. He went to ask her for a date, and because he was like different from everyone at school, they made fun of him and they go, "Oh, Lisa's got Grooties." um Groot Grooties instead of cooties because Gru touched her, and he was going to give her a flower and ask her on a date, and he was humiliated instead and left alone. And so you really feel for him. I mean, as an asexual person myself who was left out of school and bullied, you kind of really feel for him that he's different, and that people make fun of him, and people like basically saying don't go near him because he's so different. It's so sad, and so that's why he doesn't want to date or think about getting into a relationship later on, because he's scared of rejection and the way he was treated before. But you find throughout the film that Lucy tends to like make some moves on Gru, and subtle moves to a certain extent. But Gru has a date, and she knows it's not going well, so she basically puts a dart in this woman's bum, which is like a moose tranquilizer, and so he can get rid of the date because she's terrible. She's really artificial and fake, and she's like not liking Gru for who he is at all. And so Lucy, when she gets the takeaway from the restaurant, she sees Gru having this date, and she puts this earpiece on so she can hear what he's saying, and she realizes he's having a terrible date. She saves him by putting this moose pellet in her bum, basically moose tranquilizer, and they both take this woman home together, to her home. And then Lucy, who's the super villain, um, gives Gru a kiss and says she prefers him bald because he was wearing a wig for the female who didn't like him for who he was on the date. So, you see Gru fall in love with Lucy, Lucy fall in love with Gru, and Lucy is meant to be leaving for Australia when the guy with the wig was convicted of being the person who did the serum, who wasn't actually the person who did it. And she's meant to be going for Australia, but she decides to leave the plane, jump out the plane, get a hang glider to glide down on, and go and find Gru. In the meanwhile, El Macho kidnaps Lucy, and El Macho, who's actually the real evil villain who's making the serum, he's like stolen loads of the minions, the majority of them, and he's injecting them with a serum to change them into evil killer minions, basically. And they're all purple, and it's quite hilarious. I love the fact of they changed them into killer minions. I didn't like the fact because I like them cute and cuddly, and I love them, but I just thought it was quite a good twist, and it was quite interesting to see all these like minions that are purple and rampaging, go, ah, 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 like they're gonna eat you, whereas usually they're not like that. So that was quite interesting. I love the love story that was going on, and in the end, I'm going to give you a huge spoiler now. I'm going to, so if you don't want to listen to this, the ending, don't listen. But basically, Gru marries Lucy in the end. It's all about family, and then his kids all have a mother. So I thought that was really nice. I felt it was a very asexual film because there's no sex in it whatsoever. There is some romance, and there's a deep family type of love to the movie, and also a friendship. They grow as friends because they're like doing teamwork together. They're like partners in crime, literally, but they also make a good team, and they love and care for each other. And the kisses are quite small in it, apart from the one big one when they get married. But it's all about like family love. It's about, companionship. It's about true partnership and that deep love. And so that's what I really liked about Despicable Me 2, is all the love aspects, no sex whatsoever. There is some romance, but I don't think it's overly romantic. And so I think asexuals will really, really love this movie. If you haven't watched it, then, please do. Despicable Me 2 is really, really funny in parts. It's really good with all the love without the sex aspect. Really good family movie, and it's very, very, very enjoyable. So yeah, if you haven't seen the first movie, you can watch that as well, but you can also watch this in and of itself, without even seeing the first movie. But I'd highly recommend, like giving it a go and seeing what you think. I really loved it. So it says it includes 3 exclusive mini movies. Oh yeah, I didn't watch them. I think I've seen them before though, so yeah, I have to go back and watch them. But anyway, yeah. So definitely definitely get it, on disc if you can, or go and see it. It's a really funny film, nice family movie, lots of friendship, family type of love, which I think a load of asexuals like. I think even if you're aromantic, you could probably like this, even though it's got some romance in it. It's not overly romantic, I don't think. Not It's more like a love, a deep family friendship type of love. So I think you'll really enjoy it. It's got a lot of hilarious bits in it, and it's a really good storyline as well. I liked it a lot. So yeah, please go and see it if you haven't already. If you have seen this movie, then please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's and your inner ace. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye.